A couple of years ago, I bought one of these Bogner Uberschall Twin Jets, and I didn't like the amplifier. It just didn't work for me for some reason, and I spent a lot of time in a live stream dialing it in, and I just could not get it to work for me. So obviously a couple of years have passed, and thanks to Motor City Guitar, I have a chance to dial one of these in again and see if I like it. So let's revisit the Bogner Uberschall Twin Jet. Let's get started. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. I'm going to try to make this a quick video. I just want to revisit this amplifier, do a quick dial in, and see if I can talk myself into liking it, or if I can dial the amp into me liking it. You know, either way. So let's see what we can do. This is the KT88 version. I think that's the only version they make. I don't know. This is the Revv Blue. And we're going to go to channel 2 on this amp. I did a quick little sound check with it, and it seems like channel 2 has the most gain, so obviously I'm a gainiac. So I'm going to go ahead and dial in that channel. We're going to start with the boost off, and then after that we'll trigger all the boost Karens and engage a boost. I'll try to find one that works best with the amplifier, and then dial it in further from there, and maybe play it in a mix or something. So let's get started now. I'll be playing this through my Mesa 212 cab, and the mics are the Royer 121 and the SM57 blended together. I usually have a picture of them on the screen, but I don't want to block the amp with those pictures. So let's go ahead and start now. As you can see, everything's pretty much at noon, except for the volume, because, you know, need volume. And over here, this is the depth and presence. And you also have presence here, too, in the preamp section, which is really weird. I remember this amp being a bit of a Rubik's Cube, so let's see what we can do with it. All right, sounds pretty empty, so let's fill it up a little bit and see what we can do. Okay, that's better. It's kind of buzzy and hummy, but it is what it is. So let's mess with it some more. I do have a noise gate on right now, but there is definitely some inherent noise with the amp, but you know, that stuff doesn't bother me too much. Let's move a little further with it now. Okay, let me mute this thing. Jeez. Yeah, the thing I noticed about this amplifier is with the tone stack, you know, when you move this, this affects that, that affects this. It's like this weird cascading thing that happens, and it's a bit, like I said, like a Rubik's Cube. There's just all this weird stuff that happens, and I guess if you want to spend the time figuring out what does what, I don't have the manual, so maybe that would help me, but you know, maybe if you spent some time with it, it would help you figure this stuff out. But it's a little too crossword puzzly, and you know, Rubik's Cube-ish for me so far. But I mean, I think I can get it to sound okay. I think we're kind of in the territory where I want to be, at least to engage a boost and see how it sounds with a boost and then dial it in further. Let's go ahead and use the Mesa Grid Slammer. I think that'd be a good boost for this thing, and just see how it sounds with that. See what I mean? I turned the treble down and all of a sudden it jumped up a little bit. Maybe because of the presence. I don't know. It's just really weird how this amp acts. You hear how as soon as I turned it up, it started getting a little darker, and it'll probably start activating about right here. Watch. All right, let's go back to noon and just dial it in from there again. I'm going to do this as quick as possible. It's weird with these knobs. It's hard to trust anything that's going on. Now, lucky for me, I have the Red 7 Leviathan in waiting here, and I'm going to compare it to that, you know, the first channel on the Red 7 in hot mode in a minute here, just to kind of balance things out and get a feel for what's going on with this thing, because the Red 7 channel 1 in hot mode is a really even-keeled, great-sounding, high-gain channel. So maybe I'll do a back and forth with those two and see what I can come up with. So let's dial this in a little further. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep playing the same riff over and over again for much longer. I'm just going to try to get this thing to sound as good as I can with the overdrive engaged. Okay, yeah, my eyes and my ears are now playing tricks on me because I don't know what's what with this thing, because all the knobs are just doing weird stuff. So let's fire up the Red 7 Leviathan and just do a back and forth. So when you see the picture of the Leviathan here on the screen, That's what I'm playing. Obviously, when you don't see it, I'm playing the Bogner. So let's just see what we got. All right, that's a little better. I just had to adjust a few things, so now let's go back and forth between them. Okay, I don't have the volumes perfectly matched between the amps because I'm trying to do this video pretty quick, so don't let the volume differences fool you here. What I can say is the Red 7, for my taste, works better. It's a little more compressed, a little fuller, and I would say the Bogner is really raw, very, very raw. It's definitely a little less full and a little less compressed, so I guess it depends on what you like. If you like a less compressed amplifier with more of a raw, open kind of sound, then the Bogner would probably work really well for you. I like a little bit of compression. You know, this one's really, really open sounding and just very raw. You know, I mean, I guess that's the best way I can describe it, is open and raw. And there's people who like that. I get it. You know, it's just not for me. And honestly, like this tone stack and the way it works and how the knobs kind of affect each other and all that, it's just too much freaking math for me. I don't feel like going through this every time I dial in an amplifier. And you're always kind of second guessing everything you're doing because after a few minutes, your ears and your eyes start arguing over what's right. You know, it's like, why am I putting this knob way over here? And your ears are like, well, I think it sounds good there, but your eyes are like, why? Yeah, but that's kind of a weird setting, isn't it? You know, compared to other amps. So there's always this thing. So you got to have, in my opinion, another amp around to compare this to keep you kind of within reality as far as what you're doing with the knobs, or maybe read the manual. I don't know. Most of us don't read freaking manuals. But anyways, I think that's as good as I can get this to sound. I think it sounds better than what I remembered, I think. But it still doesn't really work for me. But I don't know. Let's play a mix with it and see how it sounds in a full mix. And maybe that'll change my mind. I think it sounded pretty good in the mix, but yeah, there's just something about this amplifier that doesn't work for me. And I think that it's the rawness and the openness of it that doesn't work. Doesn't mean it's not a good amp. A lot of people like the Bogner amps, and I totally get it. I'm just more for a little bit more on the compressed side, you know, as far as my tones go anyways. So if you like the more open raw stuff, I mean, this would be a great amp for you. And if you like jigsaw puzzles and Rubik's Cubes, enjoy that tone stack. I mean, it's really interesting, and I'm not saying it in a derogatory way. It's just a little much for me. But some people really like fiddling around with stuff, you know. So anyways, it's still kind of a no for me, and I think I've spent enough time with it to really know. And if I can't get an amp dialed in within about 10 or 15 minutes or whatever to sound how I want it to, that could be a problem. And I just don't see how much more dialing in I can do to get that get it to sound the way I want it to get it to feel the way I want it to get that compression and that fullness there. It just doesn't have it. But that being said, I really do want to try the new Uber Ultra, and that amplifier's really got my curiosity piqued. You know, I think that would be a good amp for me. And I guess they made a lot of improvements on that amplifier based on feedback that they've gotten from amps like this and other ones. And I've heard great demos on YouTube of it. So I want to try one out. So maybe I'll reach out to Bogner and see if I can get one and do a review and a demo for you guys on the channel. Anyways, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And let me know if you have one of these amplifiers and what you think of it. And if you think I'm kind of spot on with my opinions about it. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad amplifier. It just doesn't work for me for the reasons that I stated earlier. Well, to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, thank you guys so much. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so that you don't miss any upcoming episodes or live streams that I'm doing. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.